So you clicked on this video, that means you're curious in what I'm about to talk about. So, to get right into it, I have 5 questions here that I bookmarked, so I can go ahead and answer them here during this recording. And it's mostly dealing with YouTube and streaming stuff that people are kind of asking questions about. So the first one, Ramen Viking, it is late and I still wonder, how do folks with a family manage to have time to stream? You're on for hours, engage completely, remembering all your fans, Discord peeps. Does it take a toll? Is this treated like a second job? Well, I would say, well, first of all, the family thing. Obviously, you have to make time for it. Not everybody has like a big family. Some people are just like to themselves, like I am, living with family and all that stuff. But you still have time after working and all that to come home and cut some time out of your night to try to do something creative, which is what I'm trying to do here. Is just one of those things you have to plan out, because each day you could think about wanting to do something and then you end up not doing it. So it's just, you got to plan for it. Sometimes you don't even plan for it. You just like, ooh, idea, boom, I'm gonna do it immediately. As for remembering all your people, engage for hours, all that stuff. Yeah, Oh wait, hold on. Does it take a toll? It actually does, depending on how long you're streaming for and how much you've been doing it, or if you haven't even started. But I'm guessing he's talking about, streaming in general. It can take a toll, especially, there are many factors, like what if you're not getting as many people rolling in as you would like to, even though you have all this high octane energy. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe you're streaming a little bit too much and you're starting to burn out. That's another important thing that people need to understand. Burnout is quite real, and it is real detrimental to your creative mind in general, because if you really don't feel like streaming or recording videos all the time, like at all, people are gonna start to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess this guy kind of like stepped out for a while, and then they're gonna just move on. And then when you finally get back to doing what you want to do, then it's like, oh shit, where'd everybody go? The exhaustion of streaming and all that stuff, it's there. It's definitely there. It's definitely there. Is it treated as a second job? Yeah, well, actually, for a lot of people, streaming and YouTubing is literally a full-time job. It is quite envious, kind of. I'm gonna say kind of. I'm gonna explain that in a bit. Imagine like going to bed, waking up, and you get to stream or make content. To many folk, that would be a dream job, right? But there's caveats, What if you didn't do too well? Your whole thing is based upon this streaming video aspect. If you don't do well, then, well, you're going to suffer, because this is technically your job. If you don't do well, then, financially you're in trouble. And, not a lot of people have it like Kai Cenat or all these other people, top streamers or whatever, that they can just sit there and just stream and excuse me, and get all this money and stuff and be fine. A lot of us are not that fortunate, so we can't do streaming and content creation for a job. You can treat it like a job, get on and be very familiar. It doesn't have to be professional. It's all with your personality and all that. But yeah, trying to treat it as a second job, that's tough stuff. That really is tough stuff. I actually have this one, which is a year old. I'm gonna save that for last. But the next one from the Screaming Owl, if you were a big streamer, would you give back and support smaller streamers? I mean, hell, I kind of do that now because I myself am a smaller streamer slash creator. I think it's important to try to go ahead and support the guys that are trying to make it out here. You know, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, especially when you have people that have been up there for a long time and they're still up there because they're getting into more things and all that, whatever and stuff. And then the little guy trying to get back in there, and it's just like, nope, nope, nope. So every small person that I see, I always got to give it up to them because they've stuck it out through all this nonsense, trials, tribulations, me included. You know, it's not easy. Staying motivated, motivation is a scam. There is no such thing as motivation. It's kind of like a placebo. You know, being motivated to stream, to create stuff, it comes and goes. That's why motivation is not really a good thing to depend on. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm kind of like going off topic here, but small creators, I definitely would. If I was a big streamer, my attitude wouldn't change. What you guys been seeing through like how I act on videos and streaming all that stuff, I'd be the same person. You know, nothing would change. I'd still be the same guy. So absolutely, I definitely support all the small guys because, yeah, man, streaming sucks sometimes. I'm gonna be 100 with you. It sucks ass sometimes. But if you stick up in there and find your own guiding light, then more power to you. And them small streamers, man. Give them support, will you? All right. Grandine asks, streamers who struggle with perfectionism, i.e. struggling to stream unless they're confident their gameplay will meet a superficial standard. How do you overcome this? Ask it for a friend. Well, Grandine, perfection is an illusion when it comes to streaming. No stream is perfect. The essence, the idea of streaming, it all boils down to this right here. You go to chair, you set your camera up, you set up your streaming equipment, and then you hit the live button. And whatever happens after you hit that live button is kind of just like whatever, right? It's all in the wind. You don't know what's going to happen. No one ever knows what's going to happen. You know, I remember quite some years ago when Tekken 7 was all the rage. I was streaming... Nope. The beginning of Tekken 8. I remember when I was doing the beta and I was playing Azucena trying to learn what's going on. And I got raided by Lil Majin. That was the weirdest thing that's ever happened, you know? But it was awesome. So random things happen in streams. It's a stream, so it happens live. There's no such thing as perfectionism. And I think when people think about trying to have a perfect stream is when they immediately fail, because all you're really doing is sitting in a space and talking to yourself to a device right here, and people can see you talking to that device right here. When I literally, it's literally like this. When I say all you have to do is be yourself, It's literally that simple. But with that being said, what if yourself is a nervous wreck? Well, guess what? You're gonna have to find a way to overcome that, because everybody has their own style, you know? Whether you like it or not, everybody has their own streaming style. Whether it's just, a guy that does too much, or a person that's chill, a person that talks. Try to teach the everyone who comes along the stream things. Try to have fun with them. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of late, but you just have to find out what works for you, and then go on from there. It's really just as simple as hitting the live button and just rolling with it. That's what you got to do, and then you'll get better. All right. So Pam asks. Now keep in mind, these are kind of recent. It's in February, except the Twitch one and the Screaming Owl one. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, like a lot of these are kind of recent. 1, 2, 3. Like 3 of them are recent. But anyway, so Pam asks, fellow streamers, I have a question. How do you manage not to let your numbers and your slow growth get you down? How do you manage to not compare yourself to others who are growing faster and more successful than you? Pam, I gotta say, that's like the most impactful question I've ever seen on Twitter, like with these questions here. Because anybody can act like the numbers and all that stuff doesn't get to them. It does. It does. Don't let anybody lie and say that it doesn't. Another thing that that's been an up and down thing for a long time with me as well. How to answer this? How do you manage this is an impactful question here, because it's like I'm living through that shit right now. I'm going through it, rather. How do you manage to not let it get you down? I would say you kind of have to remember where you came from. Me, I came from kind of nothing, just posting random things, to actually finding one thing that stuck. And then when that one thing, I'm talking about Tekken 7, of course. And then when that one thing went away and then the new thing came, try to hop on that bandwagon, but then it tends to suck. So you try to backtrack and it doesn't work out. Slowly but surely, people start to run away from you. That hurts. It hurts. It does hurt. Nobody's gonna really tell you this to your face, but as a content creator, when you see people leave, you beat yourself up to death, or nearly to death, because you're here to entertain an audience. People actually took time to subscribe or click on your video and stuff. And when those numbers go down, or you get that slow period where nothing's really happening, you have to wonder what happened. People start saying, oh, you fell off, that joke. Over time it starts to really get to you. It's like, damn. Yeah, it fell off. Well, no one has said that to me, but I know. I already know for a fact I fucking fell off. But it's a thing that everybody does to an extent, comparing yourselves to others who are already, getting traction, going up and up and up and up. and you're like sitting right here and slowly sinking and stuff. The real advice I would kind of give for this, how do you manage to not let it get you down? You have to, I would say, well, this is something that's been working for me. You have to just not care, in a sense. Of course you care, you're making content, but at the same time, when you're doing something, you just have to throw it out there and not care. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm recording me answering people's legitimate questions about streaming troubles and stuff. This isn't something that I normally do. I play games and people enjoy when I play the games, but now I'm starting to get into this talking realm. I'm branching out, trying to do new things for my channel. I'm trying to get it out of the mud in any way that I can, you know? So I just said fuck it and hit the record button, and now I'm answering these questions and stuff. So you just have to say, to hell with it, I'm just gonna do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Shout outs to Ronnie Coleman. You know? You just have to say fuck it. And if the numbers don't meet your standard, you have to say, oh, I knew it wouldn't do well, but at least this number of people looked at it. You gotta look at it that way. Oh, I know it wasn't gonna do well, but people still looked at it though. It may not be that many, but some people have. When you put your expectations low like that, or in the middle, you never really get disappointed. You're just like, oh, that went about just as how I expected it to go. Okay, on to the next. And if it does well, more than you thought it would, and you're like, oh, well, that's surprising. Wasn't that nice? And then you get happy, but not excuse me, but not too happy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay humble. And you just move on. Just say fuck it, dude. Alright, and last but not least, from Twitch itself, what is the best advice you have for new streamers? I'm gonna straight up say it. If you're trying to get into it with some sort of expectation of, oh, I'm gonna get a grand following, I'm gonna get lots of money like all these top streamers, shut the fuck up and shut it down right now, because you're not gonna make it. The very instant you turn on that live button and you look up there at the counter and you see 0, and you continue to see 0, you are going to crumble like paper. You're going to probably get depressed and say you'll never do it again. This stuff is not for the faint of heart. So this is why I'm telling this to you quite harshly as I can, because there's no need to sugarcoat this stuff. Just be like, oh, you just gotta do your best. Well, what if your best isn't good enough? And what if you give up because of that? So, new streamers, just do it. Nike, bro, just do it. Fuck it. What better time to get into streaming besides now? With all this new stuff coming out, well, let's be honest, like, new games kind of suck ass right now. You kind of gotta get into the indie games and whatever, you know, for the really good stuff. But this is a good time to get your feet wet in this realm of pain that you're going to pass through, right? So if you really want to do it, you got to go in blind. You have to keep doing it and 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 failing and doing it until you finally get some people that are like, hey, you're streaming. That's a good feeling. And it doesn't matter if it's 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6. When you have people in there that enjoy what you do, it doesn't matter how many people are in there. Even if it's one person, that feels amazing. Hold on to those people. Because if you so happen to blow up, you still have to cherish all of that. Listen, man, just do it. You won't regret it. Just do it. That's all I gotta say, man. So, there you go. 5 little questions about streaming. People concerned about streaming and video creation. Thought I'd give my little tidbits on it, so if you've made it this far in this video, I appreciate it. Again, me myself, I'm trying to get into newer things, so this is definitely a start in the right direction, and thanks guys. I'll see you in the next one that I make.